Joining me today is ScardyGinge, well-known Twitch streamer recently featured in the Gameblast 2020 charity event, with her community raising over $500 for special effect. She recently maxed and is now working her way through the rest of the quests she has left, as well as going for some boss logs. She's known mostly for Runescape, but has recently been playing Minecraft, amongst other games. Today, we're going to chat all about her favourite NPC, quest and boss, a journey to maxing, and many other topics. We'll touch on how her streaming career started, and the many challenges she's faced in the past 2 years on Twitch. So join me as I head into the mind of ScardyGinge. Hello, ScardyGinge, or Shannon.
Hello.
Welcome.
Either is fine.
Welcome. Hope you're having a good evening.
I am.
Well, afternoon, I suppose, but...
Yeah, actually, it is only 4 o'clock here, so
Yeah.
you're right.
Okay, let's start with how you got into RuneScape.
So I didn't even. Okay, so RuneScape was huge back when I was in high school-ish, sort of middle school. I'd never heard of it, and my husband was actually he's played it since the inception of it, and we kind of drifted apart and we came back together about 4 years ago, and he's in the military. We were living far apart, and so we were trying to look for ways that we could spend time together where, it was something that we could do together, have fun, yada yada. And so he was like, hey, why don't you try out, RuneScape? And so now I am addicted to it and I can't stop playing it. So that's that.
So you never touched it in high school, you were saying?
No, I honestly, in high school, I didn't really play video games that much. I think The Sims was really all that I played.
It's a classic, yeah.
Well, and the thing is like at that time, computers weren't really normal to have in your home and everything like that. And so the one computer that we did have, I don't think could handle anything other than just typing. So yeah.
I think that's partly why RuneScape did so well, though, because it was such a basic game. It could run on basically
Exactly.
everything back in the day.
Yeah.
And so where did the username come from?
So it's actually my name in a sense. So it's Mrs. Shan, which Shannon is my first name, and then M for my last name, which I won't say on here.
That's it. Get rid of the doxes.
But my husband's name in game is Mr. Josh, and so it's kind of like I made it sort of like his, but I think Mrs. Shan was taken or something, and so I was like, okay, I guess I'll just throw on my last initial. So
Nice.
yeah.
So what do you think it was that hooked you in? Because obviously at first it was that being able to share time and spend time together.
Yeah, after that, it was honestly, I got addicted to fire making. And that's what I liked, so I stuck with it.
So you were just
like
there
that, yeah,
burning trees.
Literally, that was
ruining the
all that it was.
environment.
I'm like, this is amazing. Because what I would do is, at the time, I worked I think I was working 12-hour days. And so I'd literally just come home and then I'd just burn the logs. And I'm like, you know what? This is kind of nice. It's therapeutic. I'm having fun.
It is. It's just such it can be such a relaxing game at times.
Yeah.
It's such an ordered game as well, I think, which is does appeal to a lot of people.
Yep.
So was fire making your first 99?
It was. And I'm hoping that it's going to be my first 120. So we'll see.
Yeah, there's not really any content after 99 for it though, so it'll take some time.
For me, I'm just, it's a nostalgic thing because it was my first 99 and it was also my first pet. And so I'm like, you know what? It'd be kind of cool if it was my first 120 as well. It doesn't do anything for me, but it's a cool cape and it's a neat story. So
yeah. So, and obviously you recently maxed. What was it
Yes,
your last
I did.
99 was again?
it was divination. Yep.
Okay. I have a feeling that's probably going to be mine as well. Yeah.
Oh, don't do it to yourself because my last two were rune crafting and divination, and I never unlocked the soul altar, so that was great for me. And then divination is just divination. It's what I tell everybody. I'm like, if you think that's going to be your last, try to make it so it's not your last, because it was not fun.
See, the problem is I've been working like down the skill thing, and I've got it in the rows of 3, and that means
Gotcha.
divination is second to last after invention, but I've already got
Oh.
invention done. So,
Yep.
oh well, I'll just do caches and we'll see
Yeah,
how far that
and that's
gets
the
me.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely make sure you do those. And then yeah, I think that's what I did. And then core hunting parties, obviously, if you can get to those. And then I think that's Hall of Memories is where I got my 99. So yeah.
Very nice. So would you say you've got a favorite boss?
Well, so I don't, because of maxing, because that was my like main thing. I never really thoroughly got into bossing. I haven't done many of the high tier bosses, but of the ones that I have done, I would say Vindicta is my favorite. It's the first real boss besides, say, I wouldn't even count QBD because realistically, she doesn't have mechanics like she does, but you can kind of blow through them in a sense.
Yeah.
But he's my first that I was able to do solo without realistically many issues. I don't think I died that much. And so he's just become my favorite, and I make a good money at him. So yeah.
Very nice. And a favorite NPC?
War, honestly. So funny story about that. In and of itself, I love the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. It's kind of, I love lore. I'm huge into history, all that kind of stuff. But funny enough, it's one of the first events that I really, in the game, that I was really able to take part of. And so it just kind of stuck with me. I was like, this kind of works out really cool. And I love the fact that it's now he's kind of a main staple with, War's Retreat and everything. So yeah, it's fun.
And a favorite quest?
Me and questing. I wouldn't say, so Gower's quest, I would say is my absolute favorite quest that I've done. I'm not a huge quester, which is unfortunately,
Hence the
really
soul
bad.
altar and
Yeah. Again, something I tend to tell people, don't put quests off to the last minute because I can't even, most clues I can't do at this point because I'm quest locked on certain areas, and yeah. But I would say Gower's quest is definitely my favorite. Yeah.
I've been sort of powering through them. I'm like 310 quest points.
Oh, nice.
So getting there. I started with like the older ones because I was like, if I start with the old ones, then I'll gradually see how the mechanics and the storytelling improves throughout, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, and for me, like, I think I'm almost at 200 quest points now. And I'm doing the same thing. What's helping, the nice thing about streaming is I have to do something for like however many hours. And so I try to do like 1 or 2 quests. And at least I have everybody in chat kind of there, like, you can do this. You got, you know what I mean? So yeah.
They can try to be your guide as well along the way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
So have you got a favorite period of playing? Was it when you first like got into it, or has it been recently with the streaming and stuff?
It's hard to say. Obviously, when I first started, that was incredible because obviously it's a new game to me. I'm a huge RPG fan as it is, and so adding an MMO on top of that and making it like this, it's just really fun for me. But I would say recently with maxing and stuff like that, and feeling the hype of archaeology coming on and stuff like that. This is going to be my first new skill and everything, so it's like these past few months have probably been some of my favorite. So yeah.
So are you looking forward to archaeology quite a lot? Have you got anything that you're particularly excited about?
I am. Again, being my first new skill since I've joined, I'm excited to see the hype that comes from it. Kind of, I'm sure a lot of people that haven't played in a bit are going to come back and play. And I think that's going to be really neat. And then on top of that, I look forward to kind of exploring, just seeing what it's all about, because obviously we haven't seen everything that it has to offer just yet. And so I look forward to kind of exploring where I can and just checking it out.
Yeah, I mean, judging by the singular dig site they showed on the stream, and if there's 5 of them of that size, it's going to be quite an adventure. Lots of
Well,
stuff
and I
to
think we're
find.
all excited for the Cape too, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Always. is there anything in particular about RuneScape in its current state that you don't like or that you'd change?
It's hard to say because I love the game in and of itself. I don't see anything fundamentally wrong with it. The game itself, I think, is great. Other than little changes here that the company itself could make, I don't see much, as somebody who is, one of the people in the diversity Discord and everything like that. The changes that they're starting to make are really awesome. I know that that hasn't been super well received with everybody, but the little things here and there, while the masses might say that it doesn't matter, it is. It matters to the people that it matters to, and I think that's what matters in a sense. So I'm happy about that. But other than that, I mean, I'm not a huge bosser. I don't know anything about that. The skills are all great. So yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't want any more new quests.
No.
No.
Which the nice thing is that the new quest that they did that there was super simple and quick. So the slime one or whatever it was. So that was nice.
So let's move into why you started streaming. How did that come about?
So I used to sell cars. I used to work like 12 to 18 hours, not 18 hours, but I worked some long days. And I would come home and I'm in a all-female clan. And one day I just said to them, I was like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna go do some Slayer. I think maybe I was killing banshees or something. It was something ridiculous. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go kill these banshees, and I think I'm just gonna stream it on Twitch and see how it goes. And so that's really what it was. It was just boredom and being like, you know what? I'm home from work. I don't have to work tomorrow. What can I do tonight? I'm not like a party or anything. So to me, it was like, you know what? This could be fun. And so it was literally me, some of my clannies, my husband was there, and we were just hanging out doing that. And now here I am. So
I said it just became a regular thing, and
yep. And I quit that job, and I'm very happy about that. So yeah.
So you were recently featured on the Gameblast streaming. How was the whole experience of that?
It was a lot of fun. I did it last year as well, and it was exciting to see the difference between last year and this year. Obviously, this year I have a more I have more of a footing in the community as a whole, and then I have my own community built up a lot more. And Tracy, I love her to death. I try to keep in contact with her and such like that because she's such a sweetheart, and everybody that really runs the whole thing. It's really awesome. But we hit our my community's $500 goal. And for me, that was just like, holy crap, I didn't expect it. I was like, you know what, maybe we'll make it halfway. That'll be cool. But hitting that was just like, man, that's awesome. And I'm excited to know that like we're helping people who might not be able to play now. And so I'm really hoping next year to be a part of it again too, because it's great.
Because were you featured on the front page of Twitch? I can't remember. I know quite a few people.
I was. Yeah, I was. That was something. So it wasn't that bad. Ryan, the RS guy, was really awesome. Offered me all of his mods, which was great. They all hung out, and I think we only ended up having to ban 3 people, which is that's saying something. But other than that, it was really cool. Some of the donations that came in were definitely not from my community. I believe that came through the front page and such. And yeah, it was an enjoyable thing, but I had so much anxiety because, when you're on there, you can't swear, you can't do certain things. And not that I swear a whole bunch, but it's like, well, now that I'm thinking about not doing it, obviously I'm going to do it. I didn't, but I could have. So, yeah.
So obviously on Twitch recently you've had to deal with stuff like the follower bots and all that rubbish. Yeah. How's that been?
So actually, when I was on front page, I got hit with a follow bot, which was great. But I also stream Minecraft. I have my own server for my community and everything. And unfortunately, one of the biggest things right now in the Minecraft streaming community are follow bots. And I got hit with one that gave me 10,100 new followers. And so that was, yeah. And, I joked about it. I made it into a joke and was like, I now have streamer clout. Like, I'm this like huge streamer, because like, what do you do with it other than that? And that time it hurt me because I was not ready for it. I didn't know what to do. So I didn't respond the best that I could have. And it froze my computer and it was a bad thing. But the nice thing is when I got the follow bot on the front page, I knew exactly what to do. I didn't really give it any sort of anything. And Twitch has recently, which is really awesome, a lovely 10,100 people have fallen off since then. So that's great. Waiting for the ones from the front page to go away now. So
yeah. Good.
Yeah.
So how did you start to grow the community? How did you find sort of the process of getting that footing? Because obviously you had started a few clan mates and that sort of thing, and then
Yeah. Honestly, it took a long time. So I've been streaming now. I'll hit my 2 years in June, I believe. And so I'm almost there. And I would say for the first year, I had no idea what I was doing. I would stream, I'd get upset because I had no viewers, and part of that was my fault. Part of that was just, luck, whatever it might be. And you know, after about a year, I started learning that, there's a thing called networking. There's a thing called, hanging out in other people's streams. There's, teams and all these things that you can do. And if it wasn't for all of that, I probably wouldn't be where I am today. And that's not all it takes, but that's a huge part of it. So that's really how I've become able to get that footing.
And it's quite nice that with Twitch you've got all those tools sort of available, the raids, the hosts, that sort of thing, to get people sent across to you or to send people to others and grow everybody. It's a nice thing to just have available.
Yeah.
And have you got a favourite streaming moment?
Yeah, so I have gotten all of my pets on stream except for Bernie. And so one of the running jokes right now, the giant mole it's an annoying pet. And I was just like, I was bored one day on stream and I don't even think it was a day I was supposed to be streaming, but I streamed anyways. And I did like 2 or 3 kills and then I was like, you know what, this is boring. And so I put it up to the hardcore mode and then I got the pet on the first thing. And so that was like, for me, it was like, you know what? That's amazing. And so that's probably my favorite moment streaming wise while doing RuneScape.
For a second, I thought you meant like an IRL pet.
Oh.
I thought you had like all your IRL pets on stream apart from one.
I mean, my cat loves to make his entrance. I have a chinchilla. He too loves to be a part of it. But yeah, no, giant mole.
So what would you say the biggest challenge for yourself streaming is?
Consistency. I have narcolepsy, and so I'm tired a lot. And it's something that a lot of people don't understand. I sometimes don't even understand it. And there are times where, I'll stream 2-3 weeks without missing a day, not being late, yada yada, and then all of a sudden you'll see me just fall off. And it's because, unfortunately, the way my sleep patterns work and stuff like that, if I don't have good sleep hygiene, I end up paying for it. And that's something that I've recently gone through, and it's something that I try to be mindful of. But in this kind of industry, if you're not consistent and you're not doing that, unfortunately, you start to fall off. And so it's like I constantly push myself through, but then that happens.
So, because like you said, you cover Minecraft as well as RuneScape, and you've done some D&D stuff as well on Twitch.
Yeah, D&D. Actually, the first game that other than RuneScape that I ever streamed was Skyrim, and that's my favorite game of all time. And I could go like 8-10 hours playing that game, and it's easy to do it in a game like that. So, yeah, I do a lot.
So, do you find people generally stick with you while you go to these other
I had
games?
I have my core group. I'll usually sit around 15 to 20 people, no matter what I'm playing. Obviously, when I'm streaming RuneScape, I can get up into the 70s and into the 80s here and there. But if I'm streaming something like Minecraft, I'm usually around like 20. So
Yeah, people didn't come there, I guess, for that in the first place. So
no,
it's
and that's the thing. It's something that I'm okay with it. There's going to be some changes coming to the way that I do streaming here in a bit, just to kind of I'm trying to figure things out, figure out where I fit and everything. Again, I'm coming up on 2 years, so it's like I have so much more knowledge now and know the things that I can and can't do and shouldn't. So
all right, fantastic. I think I've actually covered everything. We've blasted through everything I had to speak about. That was very quick. Have you got anything you want to add or any shout outs you'd like to make?
I guess like I definitely want to give a shout out to all of, the whole team for Gameblast again. It went so smoothly this year. Everything was great. And I don't know if you guys know, but what, 7,000 euros, I think that was the
Yeah,
final amount that was raised, which is incredible. And then realistically, just the whole RuneScape like streaming community, everybody, it's such a different community from almost any other community on Twitch as a whole. Everybody's super helpful. Everybody is kind, and I value that a lot because if you're somebody who is new and that is looking to stream RuneScape, one thing that I will say is to, don't be afraid to reach out. Most of these people, Ryan and Micro and everybody, they're super, super kind. And all of us are there to help if you need it. So, yeah.
all right, lovely. Well, thank you for spending your time. Come on with me.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
no worries. And I'll see everybody next week for someone new.
Bye.